Hello and welcome back to the Sure Parenting channel and podcast. I have been gone for quite a while, but I am going to start posting again regularly. For a season, it just did not fit into my mental health picture. So that's where I've been. I'm feeling a lot better and feeling a lot more productive. And so I'm excited to be back. I think season 2 had like 2 episodes, and now we're on season 3 because it's an entirely different year. So thank you for your patience and thank you for coming back again. Today I'm going to read some questions and give you my take. So the first one says, I'm currently repairing my relationship with my 13-year-old, and I feel like I'm constantly walking on eggshells with her. She sees everything black and white, and I'm not allowed to make mistakes. How could we move forward? This is such a good question. And this was a question that came up in a conversation about healing and repair. And there's a lot potentially in this. So when I talk to clients and we're talking about their experiences in their childhood, we talk a lot about their inner child and what their inner child didn't get and needed. When you have a 13-year-old, they also have an inner child. Yes, they're not an adult and they are in a way still a child, but they still have younger selves in them too. So quite often I will have a parent who wants to make change, and there's this expectation that their kid's on board right away. That's not really reality, because their inner child might have been hurt. It's, this parent is saying that they're repairing, which to me indicates that they recognize there's been some sort of harm in the past. And that's true for all of us. Repair is an essential, integral part of every healthy relationship. So please don't hear anything like she shouldn't be in this situation, because we all should be in this situation. We should recognize when we've done something that crosses the boundaries of somebody we care about, and we want that relationship to be better, so we repair with them. That said, what I'm feeling from this is that there might have been a period of time where this parent's parenting was more controlling, less respectful. And now that they're learning, they're going, oh, I want to do different. That's so admirable. It is an incredible gift to give your children, that they get to watch you learn and grow and become that better version of yourself. They get to experience, hey, I am worth somebody putting in the work. I am worth that care and respect and a reciprocal exchange because of who I am. And they get to develop that belief and carry it forward and have that expectation for their future relationships and for themselves in future relationships. So these are all good things. That said, when we first decide we're going to make these changes, if you are taking, a weekend course and you're applying that to 13 years of history, they don't quite even out, do they? Right? So you've developed patterns with your child, and our brains are pattern detection machines. They are constantly looking to predict what's going to happen next. That's their job. So based on past experiences, your 13-year-old might not quite believe you yet. They might well be like, we'll see, I guess. Right? And that's not a super uncommon response. Some kids want to reject the vulnerability of being in that position of like, I've hurt you and I treated you wrong and I want to do better. And they're like, it's fine, stop talking like that, you're weird, because they want to push it away. I had one client's daughter get offended. Like, oh, you think I'm so terrible, you need a coach now? That wasn't what we were going for, right? And we don't know how they're going to react. What we do know is that they're reacting from a place of self-protection. So if she is reacting from a place of not quite trusting this, we have to own that we might have set up some areas of mistrust over the past 13 years. And we can call those out and say, it's totally fair if you don't quite believe me yet. Actions speak louder than words. So my actions are going to shift and change, and I'm going to keep working on it. And I hope that as you have those corrective experiences, it starts to feel like you can trust that change. Okay. Now, the second part of it is I feel like I'm walking on eggshells around her. That's always a big red flag for me. What do you mean by that? Because what I hear is I am trying to avoid feelings. And what that actually feels like to the recipient is I'm trying to control you. It sounds like the opposite, right? Like, no, I'm trying to like contort myself and make myself fit into your desired design. Why though? Because you want to control their reaction. Because you're still trying to control their experience of you. So you go from being too heavy-handed, emotionally, physically, whatever, to being so careful that the relationship doesn't feel authentic anymore. So my prediction is that you are going to need to find a happy medium. You're going to need to sit down, and this is something we do all the time in coaching, and I think is really helpful with a coach or a therapist or a knowledgeable friend, to sit down with actual pen and paper. Like actually write. When you write, you activate 10,000 more neurons than when you're just thinking in circles inside of your brain. Write down, what mistakes have you made and what you're going to do differently when that opportunity arises again, because it will. That's the thing about raising children, is that it's never a one-shot deal. We yell about them making a mess. We will have an opportunity to confront a mess again and not yell at them. And if we yell again, we'll still have another opportunity to confront a mess again and not yell at them, right? So write down what came up for you when you started learning about your attachment and your past and potentially even your CPTSD. What came up for you? What things do you wish had been different in your childhood? And even though your kid's already 13, those are the things that you really are hoping to rewire or fix before they leave the nest. Okay, write down those things. Write them down without shame, if at all possible. What I mean by that is be descriptive. I have made cleaning an area where yelling and shaming is very common, right? So I write that sentence, but I'm not saying I'm a terrible, horrible mother and I don't deserve my child, right? That's not me. That's the inner critic talking. I'm just describing what's happened. I'm being honest. I'm being realistic, and I'm writing it down. I have always felt really triggered when we're running late. I start screaming at the top of my lungs like a crazy person. There's that shame, right? Not like a crazy person. I'm screaming. It hurts my throat. I really want that to change. Okay. So you're writing down these areas that you want to change. Then see if you can predict when that might come up again. Okay. Probably on Tuesday, when we're supposed to go to this normal appointment, we might be running late. Okay. I'm going to predict that issue, that's when that might come up again. Then make your plan. Okay. In an issue with a teenager where there's a lot of late stuff, usually the issue is that the adult is expecting the teenager to operate like an adult. And time management is a piece of the prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex is not fully developed until 25, 26 years old. And a 13-year-old still has 12 more years of that brain development. So they're like half developed, essentially. That's not an actual scientific number. But for purposes of our expectations, for purposes of what we are using to determine whether something's wrong with our kid, expect that they're going to need like 50% help. Okay, so your executive functioning might be able to take this timeline and break it down really easily. Theirs might not. If you say we need to leave by 8, their brains may well think, oh, I'll get ready at 8. Obviously, that's not going to work, but that is how immature time management does look when it's happening. And I know because I have ADHD, and one of the strongest impacted areas of my executive functioning is time management and time blindness. So I get it. I kind of have a teenage brain in that area, and I might always. So I have to strategize. I can't just be yelled at and be shamed into doing better. It's never helped. I have to strategize. And if I have a teenager who's struggling with that, and therefore I'm struggling with my reaction to that, I need a new strategy. The yelling and shaming is not working. Punishing them, threatening them, taking away their phone, none of that's working. So what can I do different? What is my plan? Well, my plan is to not just say when we're leaving, but to give an endpoint to each piece. You are going to wake up at 7, right? Do you want to set your own alarm or do you want me to wake you up? Okay, that part's done. Check. By 7:15, you can have your teeth done, your clothes on. Since we're always running late that day, maybe you should pick out what you're going to wear the night before. Okay, done. By 7:30, you're going to have some breakfast. By 7:45, you're going to have your shoes on and be in the car. That way we can have a little buffer for whatever. I forgot this. I have to go grab that. And then we are driving away from the house at 8 o'clock. The way that I operate for myself is I never have the end time be the actual end time. I always move it back a little bit so that I have that window of time for flexibility, for less stress, for all of those things. But I'm going to sit down with my child and actually break it apart and show them what it looks like to break it apart. And sure, a lot of you didn't ever have to do that. You just intuitively kind of absorbed time management. But that is not how all brains work. So if this is a repeated issue for you and your child, trust what they're telling you. They can't do it your way. We need to give them a way that they can. So that would become your plan. So you've figured out what is the issue that you don't like how it's going. When is it going to come up again? And what's your plan for when it does? Okay. And then do it. Okay. And the doing it is so important because those become the corrective experiences. If they're used to getting yelled at every Tuesday because they're late every Tuesday, they're expecting that to happen. So when you start to change your behavior, the first time, they're not going to believe you. The second time, they're still not going to believe you. The third time, they might start believing you, right? But all of this gets undermined if we avoid their feelings. When we are emotionally in tune with somebody and we are responsive to their needs, that includes being comfortable with uncomfortable feelings. When we want to do better, we want to change our parenting, we have to take our ego out of it because our kids are going to push us. They're going to test whether our resolve is actually as solid as we just said it was. They're going to try to see if they can trust what we're saying. And we have to experience that without getting defensive and angry. We can't expect that somebody who we have not been respectful to for 13 years just forgives us and moves on in a day, right? Doesn't work that way, which means that there's going to be feelings that come up. Maybe her inner 3-year-old is really mad at you. Okay, let's feel that then. You're allowed to be mad at me. I can handle mad. I can accept that there are some things that warrant you being mad at me. That is fair. Is it fun? No. Do I enjoy that experience? Of course not. But is it fair for you to feel how you feel? Yes, it is. It's not disrespect. It is authenticity. Okay? Having a safe place to vent and experience all of your feelings in the presence of a regulated adult, that co-regulation is essential for children and teens. So during that period, you can focus on grounding yourself, kind of getting your feet into the earth if possible, if not the actual grounded, wherever you are. Feel your body on the chair, be very in your body. Feel what comes up when they are using a tone that you really don't like. Feel in your body where that comes up. That's a part of you that needs to be healed. It's not a bad thing. That's not a judgment. We all have those. It's your opportunity to go, oh, I see that. Okay, I noticed that. Okay, I'll work on that in a little bit. Because right now I'm going to be present with my daughter. Okay, and you're going to look underneath the words themselves. You're the worst mom ever. We know that's not true, A. B, we also know that she doesn't even mean that, right? Children need their attachment with us. So what's underneath that? What's underneath that is almost certainly sadness or hurt. If we can identify that need, then we can speak to that need. It might be something else, right? My son might be mad at me because I threw something away that was his, right? I can empathize with the feeling of loss and loss of control, right? If somebody just came and like got rid of something of mine, I would feel very intensely as well. He doesn't actually hate me. He doesn't actually think I'm the worst. He's trying to express the depth of his pain. And you have to remember with teenagers, their limbic system is growing rapid fire. So their emotional center of their brain is growing at an immense pace, but their prefrontal cortex isn't. It's just still chugging along. So they're going to be more emotional. They're going to physically feel more intensely than you do. So this idea that they're just being moody, that's not a choice. Their emotions are bigger and stronger because of their brain and how it is developing right now. That is real. Trying to diminish it or make it go away or avoid it is not allowing for their authentic emotional expression. Now, can they learn how to do it in a little bit better way? Of course they can. That's a later conversation. In that moment, you are going to be the anchor in their emotional storm. I hear you. I see you. You don't even care about me. Don't pretend. You're really not feeling very safe right now. You don't trust that I care at all. I get it. It makes sense. There's been plenty of times where I haven't reacted well. I'm working really hard to change that. I don't believe you. You don't have to. I'm not doing it to get accolades. I'm not doing it to get your acknowledgement. I'm doing it because I know it's the right thing to do. I know it's what I deserved as a kid and didn't get. And I know it's what you deserved as a little kid and didn't get. So what I can do is make sure you get it as a teen. This is so stupid. Okay. You're allowed to feel how you feel. It can be stupid. You notice how I'm swaying? Swaying is a universal soother. So I'm soothing myself as I'm soothing them. I hear you. I see you. How you feel is valid. You're allowed to feel that way. Some point, a lot of teens are going to want to go away. Like, whatever. They want to go, let them go. You do not have to fix feelings. The problems in your parenting were never that your child had feelings. You're not supposed to have a kid that's happy all the time. No human being is happy all the time. And the expectation that they be able to be happy all the time is an incredible burden on you both. Okay, they're going to be happy and sad and angry and scared and overwhelmed and tired and irritable and joyous and goofy and all of the emotions in between, because that's what being human means. We feel all of it. We don't have to change it or fix it. The uncomfortable feelings are not bad feelings. They are messengers just like the positive ones. When we feel goofy and silly and joyous, we're getting a message that we feel safe. We're getting a message that we want to engage with this particular group of people in a way that feels good. When we are feeling anxious and overwhelmed, we're getting a message that there is a looming threat. It could be a grade. It could be an actual human in front of us, right? But our body is just giving us a message. So when she's feeling hurt and scared and overwhelmed, and you're thinking, oh, I better be really, really careful. Stop being so careful. Trust that she can handle feeling all of her feelings, that you can handle her feeling all of her feelings, and that you can handle feeling all of your feelings. Trust and faith. Give those feelings space to rise up, come out, and release. The more that you do that, the safer she will feel, the more she will trust your true intentions in this radical shift that you're making, and the closer the two of you will be able to become in an actual healthy relationship, which includes all of the feelings and all of the mistakes and all of the repair. I'm so proud of you for doing this work. It is absolutely worth it. It is working, even if your teenager seems to make you think like it's not. You don't use them to decide whether this work is worth it. You do it because you know it is, and you keep doing it and you let them have their journey as they work through the complexities that they're experiencing. You guys come together at the end. Okay. Good luck. If you need any help, you can always find me bit.ly/callsammy, www.sureparenting.com, Instagram @sureparenting, Facebook @sureparenting, and the free Facebook group Empowering Parents to Uplift Kids. See you there.